Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. Today I'm going to show you how to make this air saver adapter. You can make it in different size and different colors. Let's get started. I'll show you the measurement of our air saver adapter before we get started. I'll turn it to the back so we could get the measurement, and from that end to this end, almost 4 inches, very close to 4 inches. So let's get started. These are the supplies we're going to be using to make our air saver adapter. I go over them with you. The yarn that we use is the Peaches and Cream. It's the stripy 4 medium 100% cotton, and the color is linen. So that's for our yarn. For our buttons, the size that we're going to use is the 20 mm, and we need 2 of them. And it's a regular sewing needle that I use because what I found, it fits better when I sew it on. So the size that I got was the number 18 through 22. I used the bigger eye in this case. So I put this information in the description below, so check that out, with garden, the button, and also the sewing needle. And 2 stitch markers. Our hook size is going to be the 4.50 mm, and lastly our scissors. So these are the supplies we need. So let's get started. To start off with, we're going to leave a nice long tail about 9 inches, and then we're going to make a slip knot stitch. This is how I do it and feel comfortable making it. There's many methods, so please feel free in using the method that you're comfortable with. I take the yarn, I drape it over my 2 fingers, I let it fall to the back, I take my hook and I pull up a loop. There you go, and I tighten it against my hook. That's it. So now we're going to do 14 chain. A chain is yarn over and pull through. That's 1. Yarn over and pull through. 2. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through. So that's how you do chain. So do that for 14 times and I'll meet you there. This is how we look when we got our 14 chain. So now we're going to do 1/2 double crochet into our second chain from our hook. So the first chain will be here, not there, but this one, the second one. So we're going to do a 1/2 double crochet. 1/2 double crochet is you're going to yarn over before you go into that stitch, go into your stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through all 3 of them at the same time, and that is how you do a 1/2 double crochet. And we're going to put a stitch marker right here to start off with. And now for the additional 11 chain that we have till we get to the last stitch right here on the chain, we're gonna do 1/2 double crochet. So again, a 1/2 double crochet is yarn over before you go into your chain and go into your chain, pick up a loop, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all of them to complete it. One more time I'll show you. Yarn over, go into your stitch, yarn over again, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook at the time, and then yarn over again and complete it by pulling all the way through. So do that till you get right here, and that will be 11 times you do that. So I'll meet you there. This is how we look when we did our 1/2 double crochet 11 times in our chain. So now in this last stitch right here, we're going to put 2 1/2 double crochet into that stitch. So yarn over, remember again, and go into your stitch, yarn over, pull up, 3 loops on your hook, complete it by pulling across all 3 of them. So back down into that same stitch, yarn over before we go down, then go into your stitch, yarn over again, pull up. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, and then pull straight across. So we're going to put a stitch marker in that stitch so that when we come back around, we know where we need to adjust. So now we're going to work on the other side of our chain that we didn't work on. So what we're going to put our stitches now are into these little gaps right here that we have. We have some little gaps right there. So that's where we're going to put them. Hopefully you can see them properly. So it's going to be here, and then here, and the next one will be here. So these are where we're going to put, that's where we didn't work on the other side of our chain, so we're going to put our half double in there. So you're going to do that for 11 times till you get back to your stitch marker, the last stitch that's there, and then I'll meet you there so I could show you what to do next. So remember, it's just one half double, and we go into that stitch right here, and we pull up a loop and yarn over. Hopefully you can see good. Pull up. Right here is a little gap, so that's the other side of the chain. So just keep on working with that. I'll meet you there, okay? So this is how we look so far. So now for that last stitch that's like close to our stitch marker, we're going to put 2 half double crochet. So right here, that's one, and then go back down into that same stitch. We're going to put another one. So that's completion of round 1. So the completion of round 1, that's how it looks, and we have our 27 stitches. So now round 2, what we're going to do is take out our stitch marker right here, and we're going to put 2 single crochet into that stitch. So right there, yarn over and then pull up a loop and yarn over, pull through. So that's a single crochet. I'll show you again, because that's just one. Put your stitch marker back in. So this time you go into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. So that's single crochet, different from what we were doing with the double crochet. So, and then for the next additional stitch, before we get to our stitch marker, I'll show you what to do again. So keep on working with that pattern. It's just one single crochet, and the single crochet is just going to your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through 2 of them to complete it. So that's a single crochet, and we're going to do that. Remember, again, I'll meet you at the stitch marker. So go into your stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through. Okay, so that's how we look so far, and we did our 12 single crochet coming back around to our stitch marker. So now for that stitch marker, we could take it out, and we're going to put 2 single crochet right there. So go into our stitch, pick up a loop, you have 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over to complete it and pull all the way across. Another one, go back into that same stitch, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, complete it, straight across. There you go. And we don't have to put our stitch marker back in, because now we're going to finish off in the sense of just doing 1 single crochet back to our stitch marker, and I'm going to meet you there. So it's just 1 single crochet till we get back our stitch to our stitch marker. Okay, so keep on working with that pattern, and I'll meet you there. So this is how we look, and we did 13 of our single crochet, and now we're back at our last stitch marker. So you could take out that stitch marker, and we're going to put a slip knot stitch right in there. This is to hold our work together. Slip knot is go into your stitch, pick up a loop, and then pull it across. Complete it. There you go. So that's a slip knot, and we're going to chain 1. And that's just to hold our work in place. And we're going to make sure we pull out a tail that's at least 9 inches long, and we're going to cut it off because that's going to be used to sew on our buttons. So I'm going to grab my sewing needle, and then we're going to attach the button. So far that's completion of round 2, and you have your 29 stitches. Okay, that's how we look. This is how it looks, and I'll show you in the back and see how where we started off with our first tail, it's situated perfect where we're going to sew on the button, but this one is off because this is our ending tail. So what you do, of course, I cut off my yarn, and I put my sewing needle, and see that stitch that's right next to it, because we're working in the back to weave it in, so it's going to match up with the first tail that we did. So put it right there, pull it, and then it gives it a little better look on the side when we complete it. So now we go up top to these couple of stitches up here, because we want to center it, remember, so that we can sew on our button. So there you go. And I put it one more time in here. This is to just ensure that we make sure we keep it. See, there you go. So now you have it. And we're going to sew on our button now because it matches up. So now turn it to the front and place your button. Of course, this is a 4-hole button. So we're just going to start sewing it on. And we're going to do an X formation when we sew it on, okay? So just keep on working with that. And then I'll show you what to do when we sew on the next spot. So now we got it on nice and tight. We did a couple of times. So now we're going to weave in the end and then just go into the back of it. And of course, we're still using our sewing needle to do it. So be careful because it has the pointy end. So we're just going to go down a couple of times. And this is to ensure that our button stays on. So weave it in and then go back up around. And that's it. And then just cut it off and I'll meet you at the second button, okay? So on our second button now, so line it up so it's centered, match, and we of course attached our sewing needle. So remember, just go through the back and then you come up through the front. So that's all we're going to do the sewing on. And remember, it's in the X formation we're going to do it. So keep on working with that. Then we're going to weave it in the back. So there you go. We completely put it on our buttons and that's how it looks. This is the back. And we weaved in our ends, of course, and this is the front. Nice little easy job, quick job. And of course, a little bit of yarn and 2 buttons you have on hand you could use. You know, be creative, and that's it. I'll show you the different designs and different buttons I use. Because this one, it's also 100% cotton, this and this, but this one is acrylic. And you see the size, I use a different size hook with this one too, so it came out a little bigger. So play around with it and fit it to your size of your head. So this is the one we made. My husband has a very tiny head, so I made this one for him so he could use it. So there's, remember, if you wanted more, you could add more chain to start off with, and then a different hook size, and actually the yarn too plays a difference with it. But of course, you see I use different buttons just to give you different ideas. So work with it, fit your needs with it, okay? That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.